This is Ed Stockley with CarbSmart Magazine. I'm talking with Uta Birkmayer. How are you today, Uta?
Very well, thank you.
Uta, you're a nutritional therapist, as you just told me, and I want you to tell me how you get your clients and how your business proceeds with your clients.
Most of my clients I get referred to by doctors, and they're usually functional medicine doctors who believe that changing a diet really is very worthwhile, really has a lot to do with your health.
So the doctors will send their patients to you when they notice that there's a problem with their weight or other issues?
Weight, autoimmune disease, food allergies is a big one, and if they don't feel well, just have pain, I mean, in many different situations, and they know that their patients are not eating well and are not really in touch with their food, and they need to relearn eating. That's when they send them to me.
And what kind of strategy do you use when the patients come in, particularly the obese and the overweight patients?
Well, first of all, I want to understand the patient, and so I run a pretty intensive what I call the NutriQ. It's an online test I run where I really get a full picture. How's this individual's digestive system working, how are the hormones working, and so forth.
Now, is that from a questionnaire, or are you looking at blood panels? Where does the NutriQ get your data?
Yeah, it asks 321 very strange questions that you can't really, and these are really come from very old wisdom before we had all those food allergy tests and all these tests, when doctors really asked a lot more questions. So these are all collected and put into this wonderful new software. So you get hundreds of dollars worth of results just from a 30-minute online quiz.
Can you give us an example of what some of those strange questions are, or the ones that seem out of place?
Oh my God, on the top of my head, probably, do you wake up at night, or do you crave fat, or do you feel, or do you hear a ringing in your ears? Do you burp after you eat, or do you not burp after you eat? All sorts of little things.
And I can see how each one of those could be related in somehow to a specific condition.
Right.
And if you have so many positive answers to one condition, then you have a diagnosis.
Right. Well, I then have them fill out a food journal where I can see what is their regular food, because I can't just suggest a solution if I don't know who they are.
And how detailed is that?
Really gives me the 3 meals of the day, all their snacks, and most of all the water intake during the day, and how they feel after all of the meals during the day.
And do they give you calorie counts? Do they give you measurements,
we don't count.
volume?
We don't count. What I'm looking for is ratios of macronutrients, the quality of food. Now, I usually have to ask them: is that a grass-fed beef, or what is that? I'm looking for colors in their vegetables. I want to see every color. I'm looking for good fats. I'm looking for fermented foods, which is very much a forgotten food, but hugely important for our digestive system. And I'm looking for real food, so none of the foods with the big labels.
So what are the kinds of problem foods that you'll see people eating, and how do you address those?
I see grains, bread, anything with white flour. I see soy. I see a lot of unfermented milk products, and a lot of sugar. So those are things that I want to make my clients aware of, what these things do to them. Like, for example, if they have adrenal exhaustion, they can't have high sugar. So I explain what this food might do to them, and what can we replace this with.
So we were talking about sugar and artificial sweeteners earlier, and you're not a big fan of most artificial sweeteners, are you?
No, I'm not. Artificial sweeteners, just like sugar, they all raise your insulin, because as soon as you think about something sweet, your body gets the insulin ready. That's our natural mechanism, and There actually have been studies where they looked at people who were on diet sodas and all these artificial sweeteners, and the body expects this sweetness to come in, but also for the calories of the sweetness to come into the body. If you don't have the calories there, you're going to still get hungrier, so you still need to eat that food. So they found that a lot of the people that were on low fat or low sugar diets and had all these artificial sweeteners, they were actually eating more later, because you had to make up to your body what you cheated the body.
So the dieters that were on low carb and didn't have the artificial sweeteners fared better than the ones who did.
Yeah. So what I like to do is as you transition from higher carb to lower carb, which is ideal, use low glycemic sugars. I like to use coconut nectar, which has a glycemic index of 32, 35. I also do, in a transitional phase, I do sometimes use some stevia, which is a 0-calorie sweetener, but it's not a toxin for the body like all these other sweeteners. So I do use it sometimes, especially for children who don't understand what's behind it, and you need to put some sweetness in. But I want to wean them off over time so they can really get used to the levels of sugar that our bodies are made for, and that's very little.
And how well do your clients tolerate the process?
Well, they always think they're going to starve at first, and they're never going to starve. They love their recipes. That's the thing. I think most people say you'll never miss your old foods because you love your new foods. So really good recipes are really important.
And are they your recipes? Do you
Yes.
publish a book?
Yeah, I give clients the opportunity to send me, if they have a recipe that they can't live without, like mom's casserole or whatever it is that they think they can never eat again, mac and cheese. They send me those recipes, and I do recreate those recipes. So I say, okay, we can get those flavors, we can get the satisfaction, and if you can use fat, you can get a lot of satisfaction in your food, but we can remove some of the carbs and replace them with lower carbs, and really make an overall very, very healthy recipe with their flavors. So that's really how I build my recipe data bank.
Now, you're located here in San Luis Obispo. What about the rest of us? What can we do?
Well, we are planning to really take Functional Gourmet on a national level. We are now taking a lot of videos so people can see how does the cooking work, how do we clean out our pantries with all those foods that shouldn't be in there, the bad oils and the bad fats and the bad carbs, all the chemicals. So we're going to shoot videos of a lot of this content, and we're going to develop modules for various different situations. If you have autoimmune diseases, if you have blood sugar issues, if you have food allergies, they're going to be ways you can navigate through that from wherever you are in the English-speaking world, so you don't even have to be in the US, anywhere in the world, if you like the recipes. The plan is after that to really, take it worldwide to multiple languages and all different foods that are, good for people.
Well, as the low-carb movement grows, I think you're going to be in a good position to do just that.
Thank you very much.
From CarbSmart Magazine, this is Ed Stockley with Uta Birkmayer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Uta.